In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Dataverse. So what is the Dataverse? Well, the Dataverse allows you to securely store and manage data that's used by business applications. And the Dataverse stores the data in tables. A table is a set of rows and columns. Each column in the table can store a particular type of data. For example, you can store the age, the name, the date of birth, the address, the salary, and so on. And the Dataverse comes with some standard tables that can cater for various scenarios. But you can also create your own custom tables to meet your business requirements. So at the bottom here you can see the contact table, and that's one of the built-in tables that Dataverse gives you. So in there's a number of fields, columns, which might be suitable for your business requirements. So why should we choose the Dataverse for data storage? Well, for one, managing the data is easy because all the data is getting stored in the cloud, and you won't need to worry about how this information is stored. The data is secure and easy to manage, so users won't see data unless you give them specific permission to do so. And this can be done via role-based security that allows you to control user access to tables. Logic and validation. You can also create your own business rules, calculated columns, workflows, and business process flows to ensure data quality and carry out business processes. Dynamics and Power Apps compatible. The Dataverse is suitable for both Power Apps and Dynamics applications. Now, you may have used other databases in the past, for example SQL Server or Microsoft Access. So here's a Microsoft Access database, and as you may be aware, you can create tables, and those tables have columns. So here are the columns in this particular contacts table. So we can create these field names and give them a data type. When we open our table, this is where we can enter the data in these columns. So in our Power Apps application, our data would get saved back to a table like this in the Dataverse. So let's come back to the Dataverse now. So if we go to make.powerapps.com, we'll come into this screen here. And on the left hand side we have some options, and one of them is Dataverse. So if we click that, we can then see what's underneath here. So we have something called tables. We click that. This gives us a list of tables in the Dataverse. So for this particular one I've got here, we can see the list of tables. We can see some standard ones, and here's one here called Contacts. This is one that's built into it. So if I open it, here you can see the column names. Now this may or may not be suitable for your business, but you'll probably find that there are some columns that you can use. For example, the address columns. You've also got name columns like last name, gender as well. So you might find something in here that you can use. You can also add your own columns to this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new table. So I'll click on tables again, and I'll click new table. Now just for this simple demonstration, I'm going to create my own contacts table. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it, for example, order contacts, and it will then give it a plural display name, but it's done that anyway because contacts is going to be plural. And you've also got a display name you can use here as well, so I could just put that in there as well. Now, do I want any attachments to be in this table? If I do, then I would click this box here. You've also got some more settings, but I'm not going to worry about those for now. So let's just create this table, and there it is, it's done. So at this point I want to add some columns. you've got this primary name column, and this is always going to be there. You can't remove it. It's a bit like in SharePoint, you've got the title column, which is a permanent column. But what you could do is you could rename it to be something else. So if I open it, so you need to think about what field is you can use which is going to be mandatory, because this is always going to be a mandatory field. So in this case I could just put in first name, for example. Is it searchable? Then tick this box here and then click done. So now we can see that field has been renamed to first name. I can now add some other columns. So come up here, select add column. Last name. The data type is going to be text for both first name and last name, so I'll leave that there. Age, change it to become numeric. And then I'm just going to put in some address fields. So that's it, and then I could just save the table here. Clicking this button here, save table, and it's done. So the next thing I want to do is I want to wire this up to my Power Apps. So here I am in my Power Apps application. I've got a new screen here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set the data source to be the Dataverse. So come along here, click this, and select add data. So it's already showing some tables in the Dataverse. So if I click see all tables, at the bottom here we can see order contacts, the one I just created. So if I select that, and now that's in my application. So if I now insert a form, make it editable, and I want to select the data source here. So what's it going to be? It's going to be order contacts, and it doesn't seem to drop all the fields that I have in there onto this form. And I've noticed this before, so I'm not sure if it's a bug or what at the moment, but I have to manually now add the fields. So if I click on add field, here's the ones that I created in the Dataverse. So I want to put on last name, age, address 1, town, county, postcode, and country. Click add, and there they are. So these are the fields from my Dataverse now. So I just want to put on a button as well, and this is going to save the data. So let's just put save as the label, and then we want to wire it up to this form. So what's the form called here? It's called form 1. So what I want to do on the button is put submit form, form 1. So let's just go and put some data in now. So if you run it and you find you're getting that, then that means you need to set the items property of the form. So click on the form, select item, and you want to put in here defaults and then the name of the table. So order contacts. Now if I run the form, I've got the fields. So if I put some data in here, Wendy Smith, 25. We'll just put that in for now. So if we submit the data, it should have gone back to the Dataverse. So let's have a look and see. So if we come back now to the Dataverse, click on tables, and the one we want is order contacts. So if we now come up here and click on data, there's the record that we just entered. Now it doesn't have all the field names on here, but we can easily sort that out. So what we can do is we can click on views, and we've already got some views here, so we could use one of these, or we can create a new view by clicking add view. We'll just call this test view, click create, and now we can drag the columns on that we want in the view. So we've already got first name. So now if I click on add view column and I select last name, do the same with whatever other things we need, age. I'm just gonna take a few fields. So that's it. And as we do that, we can see the data comes in as well. So that's really how we can create a table in the Dataverse and plug it into Power Apps. Another thing you can do, of course, you could add your own data directly into the table here in the Dataverse itself by clicking on add record. And that will enable you to add data in here. You're going to need your fields on this form, so what you would do is you click on forms, and the one you want is the main form always. Click on that, and at this point you can just drag on the fields that you need. Click on plus form field here. That will give you all the fields you need. There it is. There's last name now on there. Click on it again. That will put age in as well. So you could just click on these and put them in there. You can also move these around by dragging them, or you can just drag them straight onto the form here as well. When you've done that, you want to save the form and publish it. You can now continue to add in your data. And when you're done, just do save or save and close, and you'll find that your data is in the Dataverse table as well. So there's two ways of doing it. You can either do it directly from Power Apps, or you can do it within the Dataverse itself. So I hope that's given you some idea of how to use the Dataverse and connect up to it in Power Apps. If you like this video, please click the button to like it, or why not subscribe to my channel. Or you can even download my free Power Apps for Newbies book at www.powerappsfornewbies.com.